So probably one of the most common drills that I do with all the players I work with, good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, is a pause drill, okay? And I'm gonna show you just how important that can be for your golf swing. In fact, it's so important, right, that there's many golfers that have done that drill and they just go to that as their golf swing, right? Like Cameron Young, Hideki Matsuyama, right? There's many different pros out there that have basically just gone to that, both pros that are playing professionally and ones that want to play professionally. It all started with a drill that helped them sequence their golf swing better, control their top of backswing more consistently, that they just ended up beginning to do it. And, Tiger Woods has talked in detail about how much he's done this drill with Butch Harmon and how much he hated this drill. He'd go up to the top, pause, and then hit it.
Drill I absolutely could not stand, and I still can't stand.
Let's see it then.
Is take the club up to the top and stop, and then come down and hit the shot. And this is a drill that he made me do for hours upon hours, and we're out there sweating. It's 100 degrees out there.
You were sweating.
We were both working pretty hard, but the thing is, it's just something I needed to do to feel where he wanted me to put it, and then from there, let the arms fall down in front of you.
The whole key was to get the club in a position at the top where he just felt as he transferred his weight, his arms would fall down in front of him.
Rory McIlroy, I mean, every great player out there has probably done this drill at one point or another. Okay, so it's one of those drills that it's like taking vitamins and supplements. It cannot do anything but help your golf swing, as long as you know what you're looking for, okay? Because it's such a crucial time. When you get to the top of the backswing, there's so many moving parts and so many things happening. One way to think about it is we're literally going back, say 40, 50 miles per hour, right, in terms of just club speed, changing directions, and then getting to where maybe with your driver, your club head is accelerating to over 100 miles an hour. So it's a pretty violent thing that's happening at the top. It's hard to control what our club hands, arms, and wrists are doing, and it's hard to control what is actually in charge of starting the downswing correctly, okay? So here's a great example. Watch Rory just kind of do the drill here. It's something that he does all the time also. One of the best players in the world, one of the most envious swings in the world. So what they're trying to do, okay, is when they get to their top of backswing, they're trying to ensure that everything is where it needs to be, okay? There's so many golfers out there, when they get to the top, the hands, arms, and club are what I call running on. They're continuing to move after the body turn is stopped. Or sometimes the weight, the flow of weight, is carrying them too much to their trail side. So as they go to start their downswing, they're not in control and they're not balanced. And all those things really start to kind of amplify as you start down, because now that speed, right, it was almost nothing as it stopped, and it's starting to quickly increase, but they're not in a balanced, ready to go position. So what you'll look for when you get to the top of backswing is you want to make sure that you're under control. There's no overswing, there's no overstretch. I've just loaded into my trail glute, my trail side. My hands, arms, and club have stopped, so that means I'm synchronized. Just means everything's moving to the top in one cohesive movement, and then it all stops. Now here's where the magic happens. This is where it's really crucial, okay? And you're gonna start to feel some different sensations if you go out and you try this drill. Once you get to the top, good players start to feel like they can go and get the ground. So they're starting to press down and forward, and they're really initiating with the lower body with no movement of the hands and arms. That means no changing grip pressure, no spinning or turning the shoulders, none of that. It's all happening from the lower body. Okay, so if you just try a practice swing first, good place to start. Go up to the top, feel like you're fairly loaded but under control. And you notice I like to kind of feel a little bit of bounce. You see me kind of springing in my legs. I want to make sure that my legs are lively and ready to go. Many of you, when you get to the top, you'll feel, whoa, I'm a little out of balance and my legs are a little wobbly. They're not going to initiate the downswing correctly, okay? So we get to the top, pause, loaded. Now I'm going to go down and grip the ground, and I'm going to feel like my hands and arms are delayed for a moment. So there's this little moment there where my lower body's going and my hands and arms are staying up. Some people call it lag. Some people call it the stretch phase of the downswing, but it's so crucial. One of the most important things is what happens in transition and how you sequence it, okay? If you're hitting the ball far for your athletic ability, you're doing it well. And if you feel like I don't hit the ball very far and I'm looking at you in that camera, you're not doing it well.
Hey, it's your coach Zach Allen here, and when it comes to the golf swing, I've seen and tried it all. But nothing is proven as effective as the concept I'm about to share with you now. It is the single most powerful piece of golfing advice I've ever come across. In fact, I would go so far as to call it a magic move. Since I don't have the time in this short video, I've put together a 3-part web class where I teach you exactly how to put it to use in your game. Nothing held back. I call it my Magic Move Training Series, and you can get the entire thing free of charge by clicking the link in the description below. You won't find these videos anywhere else, so go ahead, click the link right now, and I'll send you the first session right away. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to that lesson.
So when we get to the top, pause, I start to feel me grabbing the ground, initiating with my lower. There's a little forward, there's a little downward, and it looks easy when I'm doing it, but I've practiced this a lot. I'm holding this up as I start down. That might be a good thing to do in some of your practice swings. Just take your trail hand off, grab your left hand, push it up. Push it up as you start down. So there's a fight between your lower and upper body. That fight creates stretch, okay, which is going to create sling as you go through. So once I get to the top and I feel that stretch, I feel my lower body initiate, it's one cohesive movement all the way to the end, okay? Something that I struggle with sometimes when I get through the hitting area, my lower body shuts down, my hands and arms kind of pass. It's very common. So me doing this drill really helps the sensation of one unbroken thrust all the way to the finish, okay? So many people will go really hard from the top and they're going to run out of energy by the time they hit it, and then their finish looks something more like this. So remember, we want to have the power happening at and through the golf ball. So it's very important that that power just build gradually. I liken it to shifting gears in a car. So many golfers out there go first gear, second gear, and then try to go to fourth gear, and that's not how the car accelerates correctly, okay? So we're just building, 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 sustaining, and then carrying it all the way to the finish. Relax and watch a good golf shot. So let's take a swing here. Comfortable backswing, doesn't have to be too long. Go. And one thing to watch out for when you do this drill, I tried my best not to. When you get to the top, don't do a big run-on where you really gather more. Get to the top, your hands and arms are done, leave them alone. My hands and arms are off the club. I'm just starting from the ground up, right? Pressing into the ground, getting heavier, shifting a bit of weight, feeling that stretch as I leave them up, and then bringing that sensation all the way through. And when I say bring that, the stretches that I get from stretching my lower to my upper, here, I'm unwinding that stretch all the way to the end, okay? So it's what my coach growing up, Paul Kopp, used to tell me, there's no slack in the system. Slack is when the upper body starts to pass the lower body. Many of you out there are doing it right from the top. There's slack in the system. We're trying to encourage that stretch from the ground up, bring it all the way to the end, and then we can relax, spin the club, watch a great golf shot. So take a look at that drill yourself. Like I said, it helps many, many great players out there, so much so that they actually start doing it. You might like it yourself and go play like that, right? Because you actually feel like you have more control. I've had a few students that have done that, and it's helped their game tremendously because they've always struggled with transition. Transition too quick, lower body not initiating, just things like that. So I hope you all enjoyed that video. The transition, such a crucial time in the golf swing. Here's another great video if you want to take a look about the transition, if you want to kind of do a deep dive and study to figure those things out once and for all. And then don't forget to subscribe to our email list down below. There's many golfers reaping the benefits already. I'll see you all next week. Have a fantastic week, everybody.